And Andhra Pradesh. Two very disturbing news coming from these two states and very similar incidents of crime. Two cases where minors were gang raped, and what's worse, in both cases, the accused were also minors. In Bengaluru, a 6-year-old child was allegedly raped by two high school boys, both of them 13-year-old boys. And it is alleged that the boys, who are around 13 years old, took the girl to an isolated place while she was playing with her brother and raped her. The Bengaluru Rural Police have registered a case against Under Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act and various sections of the IPC. And one of the accused was arrested on Sunday. And in West Godavari district of Andhra Pradesh, 15 kilometers from Eluru town, a minor who was married and is now 5 months pregnant was allegedly gang raped by 4 youth. 3 of them are minors. The accused also filmed the act on their mobile phones and circulated the clip amongst themselves. The 17-year-old victim, who was married about 10 months back, knew one of the accused. She was gang raped 1 month ago, but she reported to the police on Saturday. All the 4 have been arrested today. This is what the SP of Bengaluru told my colleague Rohini Swami.
So this actually incident happened on second. So actually this happened in Nagaraja police station jurisdiction in Bangalore district. One village is called Jaipura Doddi. So there actually this minor girl, actually she is from HSR layout. So she came to the grandparents' house on the vacation. So because of the both of minors, so we produced before the Juvenile Justice Board, and then after that produced to the judge for judicial custody. So they got remanded for 14 days.
Right. Joining me now from Hyderabad is clinical psychiatrist Dr. Purnima Nagaraja for a perspective. Dr. Nagaraja, extremely disturbing, 2 separate incidents, but the crime is pretty much the same. In both cases, both the accused and the victims are minors. Does it say something about the manner in which the younger generation is actually growing up with no one to guide them, and obviously they do not really know how to handle their growing up years?
2 major things that need consideration. The first thing is the body maturing before the mind matures. People are maturing and attaining puberty at much younger ages than in the past. 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds amongst girls, and maybe 12 or 13 amongst boys. So the mind is not yet mature enough to handle these things and the splurge of hormones which are not really educated or talked about. We have too many sexual taboos in our families which we don't talk about sexuality or sensuality, and children are completely unaware and they completely depend on gadgets, video clips, YouTube and other media and social media fora to get their knowledge, which is always perverted, and they are designed to excite, which is why people tend to experiment amongst themselves for sexuality, and it's always easier to experiment on a younger sibling or a younger child because of easy subjugation, and the fact that it can be clandestine, a child doesn't quite know what's happening, and also the fact that most people have low self-esteem issues, and which is why subjugating a child gives them a sense of power for that moment.
Right. Dr. Nagaraja, in the West Godavari case, 3 of those accused who have been arrested today have been sent to a juvenile justice home. Do you think, as a clinical psychiatrist, that's really the best place for these youngsters to be reformed?
I've always been against incarcerating children and remanding them into these correctional homes, because there's a lot of abuse and a lot of sexuality that occurs there also, and a lot of bullying. So their personalities, I find, are more marred than helped. Except that law will take its course, and now there are stringent laws which are in place, and people will evoke these laws over time. But to me, I would say, if we could try to emulate the foreign countries, especially England, wherein the children are sentenced to this many hours of community service, where they are sent to old people's homes or to clean up public places, and to talk and counsel about the issues which bother them to other people who are disturbed. I think this would definitely go a long way in teaching them that they live in a society, and community is as important as their own personal pleasures, and it also eases a lot of confusion if they also go into counseling themselves with the trained counselors, into group therapies, to see that other people also commit these crimes, but it's not human to do so, and that you can't condone it in any which way.
Right. Dr. Nagaraja, thanks a lot for that perspective from Hyderabad. An extremely disturbing story coming from both Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. Now, on Monday, Rahul Gandhi is expected to be in Telangana, where a large number of farmers have committed suicide since Telangana came into existence on the 2nd of June. He is likely to visit a lot of farmers and also families of farmers who have committed suicide. But significantly, he will also be spending time at the Osmania University in Hyderabad, which was like the ground zero for the Telangana struggle for the last 5 to 6 years.
I'm here at the Arts College in Osmania University, which was like the ground zero during the Telangana agitation. With me is Krishank, because Rahul Gandhi is expected to make a stopover at the Osmania University. He's the spokesperson for the Congress here in Telangana. Is this also an attempt to kind of reclaim the Telangana space, because it was the Congress which gave statehood to Telangana, but it didn't quite get the credit?
More than a space, we feel as students of Osmania University and Telangana students that it's time we have to thank the Congress party, and particularly Rahul Gandhi, who is touring Telangana. We want him to come to Osmania University because the students, 1.1, we want to thank Rahul Gandhi ji, and point 2 is discuss with Rahul Gandhi ji regarding the issues which students are facing here and the discomfort while Telangana government, the TRS government, have alienated and have not kept the students in the participation in the so-called Bengaluru Telangana, the golden Telangana which he is seeking for.
Now he's going to be coming here to talk about the farmers' issues, which has been going on a tour to Maharashtra, to Punjab. But here he's also going to reach out to the student community in particular. What really are going to be the issues which he's going to raise?
Unemployment is the priority, because the students have participated in the agitation expecting that jobs would be announced. But see, because Rahul Gandhi has been supporting for the youth also, so it is important that we take up all these issues to him. And most importantly is these students come from the same farmer background, from those rural areas. So that is why it is interrelated. So such socio-economic situations have to be addressed by Rahul Gandhi ji. That is why we want interaction between students, professors and Rahul Gandhi ji.
Okay, thank you, Krishank. So that's really the idea when Rahul Gandhi comes here on the 11th of May. So along with issues like net neutrality, which he has raised, he has spoken out to the middle class on the real estate issue. Now he's going to address the student community when he visits Telangana on the 11th of May. At the Arts College in Osmania University, T.S. Sudhir for Headlines Today.
Right. The interesting part is that there have been demands that he should also be visiting Karnataka, where there have also been drought-like conditions and farmers are in distress. But whether he will visit Karnataka, joining me now is my colleague Rohini Swamy from Bengaluru. Rohini, the BJP has been going on the aggressive, asking and taunting the Congress government. Why wouldn't Rahul Gandhi visit Karnataka? What is the BJP saying?
Well, what the BJP is saying and the stand that they're taking is, as of now, the Karnataka government is hiding in terms of the figures of the number of farmer suicides that have taken place in the state. And also, they have been taunting Rahul Gandhi and saying that after a 2-month break, that he actually realized that he has to go and do groundwork and research as to what is the farmer crisis in the country, be it in Punjab or in Maharashtra, and also visiting places like Telangana. Then why can't he visit Karnataka, where 183 farmers have committed suicide in the last 3 years? The question they're also raising is, the government in Karnataka is the Congress government. So obviously it is but natural that a person who is from an AICC vice president should be also visiting a place or the state where they are in government to see what the farmers need also. Now the point also that is being raised by the Karnataka BJP is that if Rahul Gandhi is talking about farmer suicides and farmer crisis, then he should also be coming into Karnataka to see what the farmers in Karnataka need.
Right. Right. Let's listen into what the Congress government in Karnataka has to say. Rohini Swamy spoke to Krishna Bairagowda.
He is visiting different parts of the country where farmers are in distress. So in this context, he has already visited a few states and he has planned a few more states. And I'm sure in due course of time, he will visit Karnataka as well. He has visited Karnataka in the past several times. In fact, during one of his visits, he spent 5 consecutive days in Karnataka. So I don't know why BJP is unnecessarily getting worked up. I think they are disturbed that he is traveling. He is raising the voice on behalf of farmers.
Right. So that's a new controversy that has taken place there in Karnataka over Rahul Gandhi's non-visit